be written. Continuous, passive, and state be something. Well, to generalize, to show them the bigger picture. So teaching grammar, it is about your ability to give them, to equip them, but it's also about your ability to see a pattern. Like you see 10 examples, and you are able to answer a question, what unites them? Or at least you must find like 3 ways, 3 categories, 3 aspects that will unite these 10 examples. Well, for example, let's just look around the office and see, and we have an air conditioner, flags, books, furniture, and let's just categorize these things. How can we put together in the same category a flag and a clock? A flag and a clock. Is there a way to say they are the same? I know a way to say they are the same. They are the same, actually. In what way? In what function? What is their function? What function do they have that unites them? No, just give me one aspect, one function that they have that unites a flag and a clock.
They show something.
It's too general. You're right, but it's too big. It's too general. It should be practical. Come on. Дырку на обоих закрывает. They are there to cover the hole in the wall. Exactly. But it's my own invention. Okay, this is how I looked at them. It's my choice, it's my angle, it's my perspective. I put them together in the same category. If these categories are not fun, but they are practical, so it helps students see things from a different perspective, and it helps them understand things better, develop a better skill, it's your job to make new categories of things. And to contrast, well, actually you do 2 things. Contrast and compare. Compare and contrast. Find differences, find similarities. Find differences, find similarities. Teaching grammar is your ability not only to equip your students, but in general, to find differences between the things and to find similarities between things. I mean language, of course. What is the same about passive and continuous? If you think in the right way, I will say, but both of them have be. It's is. So you can unite them and say, but this is where they are the same. And in other ways. So it's extremely important. If you can't see the differences and the similarities between the things that are not, and these similarities and differences are not in the grammar book, if you're just quoting the grammar book, you will never be able to really teach English grammar. The challenge is to create your own English grammar. Because we all are used to seeing science as something that we can rely on, that if it's scientific, so it's a fact, it's something that, it's something we can trust, something, so if they said it, so it's true, it's real. But we don't know the reality, which is different, that lots of things that scientists say, they are just their own ideas, and they are creating their own system, kind of picture of how things work. So like literature, they're creating a story, using scientific words, to describe and explain, to describe what is really happening in the world, to try to explain what is happening and why, on the basis of the data that is available to them. But when you have like certain pieces of information, you can create different pictures to describe why you have this information. And different scientists come up with different explanations, like different kind of explanation of what happened. What do you think happened? There's a body of a man lying in a room, and there's a match. He's holding a match. He's dead, and he's holding a match. So what do you think happened? And you create your own story, and another person creates their own story, and the stories are different. And the problem is that you think that if it's a scientist who said it, then it's like, it's real, it's true. Very often, no, they don't know what they're talking about. It's only they're guessing. Why did I use the examples of scientists? Because you are scientists, and you can invent your own grammar stories. You can create your own models, explain grammar in your way, categorize it in your way, use your words to describe everything. All with one purpose in mind, just to make sure that your students have order, they understand, and this order helps them function. So they make the right choices in the right places. That's it. So how do you create this order? It doesn't matter. What explains to them? I had once a student who'd been studying English for several years, and she had problems with tenses. And I've been trying to teach tenses in so many different, to explain to her past tenses in different ways, and she kind of understood me. But one day, I told her something after which she's like, oh my God, now I understand. You will never guess what I said. And actually it was something I don't believe that came through me. I said it without I understood what I was saying, of course, but it was somewhere from above, for sure. I said, past simple, это два шарика. Или шарик. Шарик, it's a ball. Past continuous, it's a rifle. Ружье. Past perfect, it's a cage. And past continuous, it's something else. And I explained why, so I give her these metaphors, and she's like, oh, I understand. As for the practice, I don't remember, I can't tell you like what the result was, like her speech and everything. But the light was on, for sure, for her, but I just did my best. I created my own system of metaphors, and it helped her. So, teaching grammar is your creativity. It's just it's the angle at which you look at certain grammar structures. It's how you categorize them, put them together and say it's the same, they're different. It's how you use the key words to describe the difference between them. And creating this map, this picture of how English language works, of what kind of verb forms you should use, and in which order you should put the words to give it a meaning. And this picture, it's creativity. It's up to you. You paint it. I mean, of course, there are certain things there are lots of things that are just there. You just have to accept it as truth. But still, the way you explain it, the way you give it to your students may be different. There's a lot of scope for creativity in teaching grammar, not in doing some exercises or activities with them. I'm not talking about that. I was talking only about the level of presentation and explanation. Yeah, and so it's fun. Teaching grammar is fun. That's why, well, I have found my way to teach English grammar, to teach everything in English grammar in one lesson. To elementary students, first month, they're studying first month. I think I've told you that. It's I say, guys, English is a wonderful language. Why? Because there are only 6 verb forms in the English language. Only 6. Like all the meaning verbs, full verbs, they have only 6 forms. No, not more. Right? Like English verbs don't have endings. So doing, do, does, did, to do, done. That's it, 6, no more. Of course, there's be, the verb that has more than 6. And there are those that have only 4, like hit, for example. Only 4, but hitting, to hit, hits, hit, right, 6, only 4. And that's it. So what you're learning is you're actually, on the level of structure, what you're learning is you're learning these stupid 6 verb forms. But that is what's in front of them, what comes before them, that is a problem, of course. To say am doing or like doing, or so like the second column is important, and I explain that too. But I put lots of English grammar continuous, passive, perfect, modal verbs on one sheet, on one sheet of paper. And the categories are 6 categories, 6 verb forms. And students understand. They understand. Of course, I use it as pre-teaching. So then we start verb to be, and we practice be, and then we practice present simple and everything like that. But for them, it just creates the whole picture of English language. But I made it. I chose it my way. So it's my creativity. It's just, I don't know. You can make your own ways. You can create them. And ability to generalize. To say something, to say something to a high level. It's also extremely important. Extremely important, but actually it's pretty much the same, but finding contrasts, finding similarities, finding differences, because and it's impossible without your knowledge of English, of English grammar. So, like when students ask me something, like why do we say look at? Yeah, why at? And on the spur of the moment, I can come up with more examples where preposition is used in the same way, and they say put up or whatever, look for. They say look for. Preposition for and look verb, and I say no, it's different. It's different. Look for, it's not look at. They're different. Look at, at is a linker, and look for is part of the meaning. And I quickly come up with more examples. Look for, put up, look down, where adverbs or prepositions are part of the meaning of the verb. So it's of course you cannot teach English grammar well without having this database of information in you that you search and find the more examples. My own category. Actually, I like it very much. Unfortunately, I don't have the sound for it yet, and don't have a special handout for it. But I don't think that many people have done it before. English verbs are often Russian adverbs, and you can teach it as one topic, as a topic. But I was talking about the example being, well, for example, happen. In Russian, it's случайно. In English, it's happen, it's a verb. I happened to see, in Russian, I saw it by accident. So the verb happen is an adverb in Russian. Used to, that's the first one. That is, it's a verb in English, but it's an adverb in Russian, раньше. Раньше это делал. And there are more. But what I was talking about, it's important that you are able to, that you should be able, right, to generalize, but to give more examples and work out the rule. This is an important tool. It's a task. When your student gives you an example, you quickly add 5 more and make a rule. And this, if it's something that you can do, and it's possible only like many years down the road, when you have taught it for a long time. But if you just teach quoting, it's not going to happen, really. I mean, if you teach by quoting grammar books, it's not going to happen. So if you explore the grammar for yourself, see it as a wonderland, not as a high-tech or scientific world. It's a wonderland. It's up to your imagination, really. There are very few definite things. So you choose the nature of things for yourself. And when you have this database of information, then you can generalize. Add more examples and work out the rule on the basis of these examples. And this is what makes my students happy. Is what I can quickly give them the rule. Because I have found that if I can explain, if I can generalize and give them the rule and explain, it's easier for them to learn it. Much easier. For example, when I teach gerund in infinitive, 2 columns, try doing, try to do. And I don't generalize there. I don't give them many rules. Very basic ones. And most of the time I just say, guys, remember, remember, remember. Or this is the difference, remember, no generalization. This makes it the hardest topic ever. Because there is nothing to understand, only to learn. And they are not happy. So I make them happy by giving them rules, and I give them rules. I work out new rules by seeing the trend, seeing the pattern. And to see the pattern, you need to have examples, and to have examples, you need to have them inside you. So this is not the problem. But still, even when these examples are given to you, but like you see them already somewhere, like in a category, it's up to you to find the differences, similarities, and like, for example, when I teach modal verbs, I teach like at an elementary level. I teach must, may, might, will, all together. And why? Well, because they're just vocabulary. It's easy to learn the word must or might. It's easy for them, so they learn it. And then we look at these like 7, 8 words, and I ask them to please find differences and similarities. And I tell them that, of course, they do find something most of the time. I just have to tell them, guys, look, it's all about the future. Like all of these words, and like, oh my God, really? It's a big revelation to the people to know that want is about the future. You describe future without saying will. I want to go there tomorrow. I can go to there tomorrow. I must go there tomorrow. It's all about the future. So might, will, would, could, can. It's all about the future. I can use the word tomorrow together with all these modal verbs. And it's like I make them look at it in this way, and it's like, oh my God, really, light shines. I looked at it in that way. I found this trend. So the examples were given to me, and I found this trend. And then I may teach something like that and say, look, all of them take a bare infinitive after them, like these verbs, will do, would do. But then we have this have to. Have to, it's different. It's have to do. So here you say not, here you say don't. So I contrast. I say they are the same, they're all about the future, but here's the difference. Here's similarity, here's difference. Here's similarity, here's difference. And no book will ever give that to me. It's impossible because there are so many things, there are so many angles. You cannot put them all in the same book. It's up to your creativity. So once again, teaching grammar is working with your students' brains, really, with the information that you can do whatever with this information. Look at it from present it in any way. Look at it from any angle, and in this way or that way, you create order in their head. Picture. This means it's here. It's here. Everything should be on their shelves. Everything should be like, okay, I understand. Good. Good. See, now I understand. Now I understand. So this is teaching grammar, and a few more words about grammar and vocabulary. The main difference between grammar and vocabulary is a level of generalization. So, well, first of all, I use the word grammar to express, for any phenomena that is there, not because of the rule.